Hi guys, welcome to this video looking at what is happening at the cathode and anode during electrolysis. If we start off by writing the half equation for the cathode then, when we electrolyse copper sulfate. Copper is the least reactive out of copper and H+, therefore copper will form. So I know I've got Cu2+, it's going to go back to copper, so I'm going to add 2 electrons to it. So what you've got to be able to do is explain, in terms of electrons, what is going on at the cathode. Now this is bringing together everything that we have done on electrolysis. So you're starting off with your copper cations, Cu2+, you figured out it's that and not hydrogen. They're going to move to our negative electrode. Copper cations are positive, they move to the negative electrode, that's the cathode. So your first thing is to say copper cations move to the negative cathode. Once they are there, they gain electrons. In this case, copper is going to gain 2 electrons to return back into their normal atom, copper. And then finally, you mention what that is then. So oil rig, oxidation is loss, reduction is gain. So it has been reduced. If we look at the anode, you've got your sulfate or your hydroxide. There's no halide, therefore your hydroxide will go there. So we have OH-, which is going to turn back into oxygen and water. Put in your half equation. This is the one I suggest you remember. So it's 4OH- goes to O2 plus 2H2O plus your 4 electrons. And nice and simply what you write down is the hydroxide ions will move to the anode. So your negative anions will move to the anode, your positive anode, and they will turn back into oxygen and water. They do this by losing electrons, which is oxidation. Oil rig, oxidation is loss of electrons. Right, let's try and piece everything together that we've done about electrolysis. So there are 2 questions. Number 1, which ions will go to the cathode and anode when aqueous sodium chloride is electrolyzed? And number 2, write half equations for the electrolysis of potassium bromide, KBr, and explain what is happening at the cathode and anode. To be able to answer these questions, you need to be able to tell me, first of all, which is going to form. We've both got aqueous solutions, so are you going to get hydrogen? Are you going to get sodium? Are you going to get hydrogen? Are you going to get potassium? And then what is going to form at the anode? Is it going to be the chloride or the hydroxide making oxygen and water? To be able to figure that out, I've put a link in the top right hand corner, so just click on the little eye and have a go at it. And then secondly, once you've figured out what's forming at the anode and the cathode, for question 2, explain what is happening. Which one's lost electrons? Which one's gained electrons? Which one's been oxidized? Which one's been reduced? Look at the other videos. If you're not sure how to do that, pause this one, have a go at the questions, and we'll see you when you've had a go at them. Okay, let's see how you've done. So number 1, which ions will go to the cathode and anode when aqueous sodium chloride is electrolyzed? So at the cathode, you've got a choice between sodium and hydrogen. You go for the least reactive, which in this case is hydrogen. So 1 mark for hydrogen at the cathode. Then out of chlorine and hydroxide, the one that's the halide is always going to form first. If not, it's oxygen, which in this case we have a halide, which is chlorine, so chlorine will form first. 1 mark for chlorine at the anode. On to question 2, writing half equations. So we've got aqueous potassium bromide. You've got a choice between potassium and hydrogen. Hydrogen is the least reactive, therefore that will form first. So you will have H+ ions gaining electrons to form hydrogen. Hydrogen's diatomic, so when it's balanced it looks like this. 2H+ plus 2E- arrow H2. 1 mark for that. The second 2 marks for this part are talking about what has happened in terms of electrons. So we've gained 2 electrons, so you get 1 mark for saying gain of electrons, and then 1 mark for saying oil rig, oxidation is loss, reduction is gain, so it's been reduced. Similarly, at the anode, we've either got bromine or hydroxide. Bromine is a halide, it's in group 7, so that will form. So you have 2Br- goes to Br2 plus 2E-. What's happened? The bromide ions have lost electrons, so 1 mark for that. Oil rig, oxidation is loss, so 1 mark for oxidation. That's pretty much it for this video. There is a review question, which is write half equations for the electrolysis of aqueous sodium sulfate, Na2SO4, and explain what is happening at the cathode and anode. So very similar to what we've just done. Thanks for watching. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click on subscribe, visit the website, and have a look at the latest video. Thanks for watching.